My name's Harry and welcome back to Drum Electric. So the end goal of this video is to be able to use triggers to enhance our drum sound. So as you can see, I've recorded some drums and I've got the MIDI for it, only using microphones, which is really exciting. So if I hit play, this is what it sounds like without any of the new triggers and samples in there. If I mute the kick, and then the snare, that was a bad loop point, I'm sorry. So as you can see, it adds just that little extra layer that we want just to make our drum sound great. So this is a really easy thing to do. You don't need any triggers or anything like that. You just need Logic. I'm using all of Logic's inbuilt sounds, and it's great. So let's get into it. Let's make our drum sound even better. So step one for this is kind of an obvious one, which is to have the drums recorded. There's nothing particularly special about how I recorded these drums. I've got a kick mic, 2 mics on the snare, top and bottom, 2 overheads, a ride mic and a hi-hat mic. Those two you don't particularly need. That's just something that I found. The cymbals that I'm using, they just need to poke out the mix a little bit more. Anyway, I made a lovely video. Here's what the drums sound like. Stunning. They sound okay. They're a little bit flat, if I'm honest, but that's fine. That's why we use triggers, to enhance our sound. Now, there are no triggers on this kit. I'm just using the mics. As you can see here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 channels. I can count. I've got 7 channels and they're all microphones. So we're going to use the kick and the snare top. The kick doesn't particularly sound... nothing special about it. It just sounds like a kick drum. So what we're going to do is we're going to head up to track, and then we're going to go replace or double drum track, and this is where it gets exciting. So the Mac will do something, obviously in this case very quickly apparently, and you can kind of leave these settings how they are. We're not going to dive into these too much, so I'm just going to hit OK, and then Alakazam, there's a MIDI channel that's appeared. So I'm going to rename that as kick, and then there we have, if we solo both of those, that's the sound we want. What's basically happened is it's taken a random sampler, it's put that MIDI note on it, and it's gone, there you go, what else did you want? I've done the thing you've asked me to do, which is true. To be fair, we can't blame that. So for this, I'm just going to make sure that I'm on the sampler, which you can choose it sample, multi-sample, and stereo. And then if you don't have this menu to the left, you can just click on the top left up here and all of this fun stuff comes up. So I'm just going to use the inbuilt Logic sounds because they're pretty good. So I'm just going to go drum kit. I'm going to try heavy. Let's see what heavy sounds like. Like nothing. Why does it sound like nothing, you ask? Well, it's because we need to move that MIDI note because as you can see, it's on C3, that's on nothing. So holding the Option key and just the down arrow, we're going to go all the way down to C1. Now, one thing I like to do is you can keep all of that velocity different, so you do get those dynamics as you play the kick drum, but if I'm totally honest, what I love to do is just whack up the velocity to full, and to do that, you can press the little buttons here, and then just pull up all of those dots to the top. That makes them all full velocity, and then when you hit play, it's an alright sounding kick. I thought, what if we go to the SoCal? I kind of prefer that kick drum sound. So what I'm going to do is just reactivate my track. So already you can kind of hear a little bit of a punchy difference. We don't want it to overwhelm it. I've done nothing in terms of volume, but there's just a little bit of a difference, which is really nice. So we're going to do exactly the same for the snare. So we're going to click on the track, hit track, replace or double drum track. It's going to analyze it. I'm just going to hit OK for now. I'm going to select all of them, Command A, drag all of those velocities up. Very exciting. And then I'm going to choose my sample sound. So drum kit, we're going to go SoCal again. Let's see what those two sound like. Ooh, let's see what that sounds like on its own. Sounds like nothing. Do you remember why? Because we need to change that MIDI note. So I'm just going to double click on that, Command A, I'm just going to bring this all the way up. Where have we got? Snare on D1, which is very exciting. I'm actually going to go to E, because that's a rim shot, and we love our rim shots as drummers. How exciting. Now I'm going to unmute the snare with that. So already it's beefing up that snare drum. So if I unmute all of it, there we go. It went a little bit weird at the end there, but that's because the loop was on. But there you go. It's as easy as that. I was only using mics. I haven't used any triggers. The one thing you want to be careful for is if you're doing this on a whole track, then just make sure that you're going through each audio track that you're doubling as MIDI and make sure it hasn't misfired anywhere, because sometimes if you've got like a loud ghost note or a backbeat or just something, it could pick up and then you'll have like a double loud hit, for example, and that's where it gets weird. I would also recommend going through this and actually changing the velocities and dynamics. So if you do have ghost notes, change that velocity down so it replicates that of a ghost note and all that sort of stuff. That stuff all takes time, but the end result will be way, way better, and it just makes the kit sound great. So with this method, as you can see, I'm just using it to enhance the kit rather than actually replace and trigger it. It just makes the whole thing sound just bigger and whole, and it's just a really nice thing if you're like me and you're recording at home and you can't quite get the sound that you're looking for. So this is a good way to do it. And that's it. That's the whole video. Nice and easy, nice and quick. If this video helped and you enjoyed it, please consider hitting the little thanks button just underneath this video. It really helps the channel and me, and means that I can create more of these videos. If you have any questions or things like that, lob them in the comment section down below. But apart from that, I hope you have a fantastic day.